Hi everybody. I am not very happy right now, all because of Dan Sobel. And Dan Sobel turns out to be as a. But before I start, if you guys like Dan Sobel or any of you guys haven't seen him, I suggest you don't trust him or support him. And if you're friends with Dan Sobel again, you'll be blocked or banned from my channel and social media for good.
Calm down, Tiger. You're giving me lolcow vibes yourself. I might have to look into you next. Welcome back into our deplorable look into the man-child that is Dan Sobel, the Blues Clues PDF weirdo we started recently looking into. Now, like I said, I thought this would be a one and done video. I didn't think I'd be 3 videos into it, and definitely looking like I'll at least make 4. And since he's fairly active, 5 or 6 might come down the pipeline eventually too. But with that said, this video is going to be looking at a lot of the weird allegations and strange things he does toward children, minors if you will. So strap in for a bumpy ride because it's going to be an interesting one.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan. Now, you all remember why I'm back. Well, after being grounded by my dad for the last 3 weeks, I'm going to be setting up a better example and to tell you what I have learned after being grounded for the last 3 weeks for bad behavior.
What is that? What the fuck is that?
I mean, you all are right, because I brought it all to myself for doing all the bad things for the last 5 years ago, but no one else did. Now, to tell you what I have learned after being grounded for the last 3 weeks.
Now keep in mind, Dan Sobel is a 25-year-old man, potentially even turning 26 this year, and this is his life. He's being grounded off the internet by his father because he sent angry letter videos to people. And obviously the PDF stuff doesn't help either. But hey, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Let's get back into it.
I've learned that I should never pick up after anybody on social media. I've learned that wishing someone an unhappy birthday is very heartless, and it could ruin people's birthdays and make people mad.
Oh no!
As well as celebrating a people's retirement, which is very heartless, which is the thing that I've learned.
So this is him acknowledging everything he's learned after being grounded and his apology video for the PDF stuff, the racism stuff, and all the other stuff. And you'll notice he's gonna apologize one by one, saying he learned not to do this, not to do that. But the strange thing is he never apologizes for the PDF stuff. Very strange indeed. Maybe it's because he's not sorry about it and he's gonna keep doing it. Bad look, Dan boy.
I've learned that I'm gonna be thinking clearly before saying something or someone. And I've learned that racism can get you in trouble. I am never going to be using racism anymore ever since that was back in 2021, because I've learned my lesson for using racism, or else because I don't want to use that, or else I might end up beaten up by someone.
I think it's pretty much common sense to know that racism is a bad thing, but clearly Dan is only apologizing because he knows he would get in trouble or beat up for saying racist stuff, not because he has remorse for it and harm that can cause other people. No, he doesn't care about other people, he just cares about himself. I've even noticed some comments on some of these lolcow videos where when I mention somebody does something racist, they'll act like that's not a big deal. Sure, these people might be PDFs, they might be assaulters, abusers of all kind, but racism is just another terrible thing to add on there. To act like it's not anything or lesser is kind of wild in my opinion. I mean, do you run around calling people with a hard R? Do you run around calling people N-words? I don't think so, because you know the consequences. So if there are people doing that, they should definitely be called out for it.
And also, the most important thing that I've learned is that telling the truth is way better than lying, and it would set me free. Also, for what I've learned about what you thought about me telling people to shove middle fingers up their private areas.
What's that, brother?
For what I've learned about it, well, it is disgusting and it makes you sick, which I regret for telling people to shove middle fingers up their private areas. And it is very disgusting and it makes people sick, and that is what I've learned. And everything that I did on Bill Lacero's Google Meet back in 2020, which I'm not going to mention, that's something I regret for what I did in front of Hamudia John back in the day. And from now on, since Hamudia John is a dead topic, I am no longer roasting him anymore, since he's old news to me at the point. And yeah, speaking thinking about picking up after people on social media 24/7. Without being said, there will be no more message videos. There will be no more commentary videos, no rant videos, no exposing videos, no call-out videos, and no more statement videos out of bad people. Because picking up after someone would get someone hurt.
Now, we're gonna get what he did to good old John here, but from what I understand, and there's a video later on, severely blurred by the way, of where good old Danny boy here pulled a Cyrax, where he came on stream and started flinging his wing around, showing his booty cheeks, completely in the nude for everybody to see, and apparently he's done this more than once. Honestly, I don't know what it is with these locales where they feel like they need to expose themselves online for whatever reason, but it's getting downright disturbing, and I'm tired of having to do all this editing to blur it out.
Dan Sobel, we all know that what you did to that girl, say that you got a girl like that, talk about you got a girl to cut her vagina. That is totally dumb, man. Especially you messing with these goddamn minors on social media, man. Can you do something in your life besides watching baby shows, doing the Blues Clues dance and stuff, or do a TikTok dance with a wig on your head and stuff? Whatever you do, man. I heard that you go to the gym, but you're not in workouts. And second of all about you is, why would you record yourself putting your clothes on? You came on there on your channel in your damn boxer drawers, putting on your clothes, showing the view that, hey, I'm finna put my clothes on, showing everything. Nobody don't want to see that. That is so damn gross, man. What is like even a minor kid or a little kid don't want to see a 25-year-old grown man half naked on TikTok or YouTube or whatever social media you own, man. Like my friend Jack said, grow up, man. Get out of the kids zone. Get out of the kids world, okay? All right? Go out or do something. You're like, go out, find a job. Go out, meet some people around your age, okay?
I know I showed that last clip in the previous episode, but this one was extended a bit more because I think it's pretty pertinent and one of the more articulate videos from this corner of YouTube. I will eventually go deeper into that whole physical media world. It's just so much to take on, and almost every single character I've stumbled upon is low-key a locale themselves. But it's hard to find some of the clips of these allegations, so that one being reused was kind of a must. Next is going to be that clip I was talking about where, you know, unfortunately this guy brings out his willy and shows it to the world.
Not this again!
Hi, I'm Comedian John, and I want to go out in public naked.
Oh God. Stop it!
Let's well being.
Oh
my God!
Dan's naked. Dan's naked, Calvin, just to let you know.
I think a lot of people don't really understand why it's such a big deal to do stuff like that because you never know who's actually watching. That live stream is literally public to the world. Any child could click on that. Anybody could just happen to stumble upon it. I mean, to be honest, it doesn't even have to be that deep. You could be watching this and, hey, your niece walks by, your daughter walks by, your son, etc. It's literally that simple.
So, Twilight Sparkle basically has a big brother named Shining Armor. And she's also friends with a princess named Princess Cadence. She always teaches us how to do this dance, you know, the sunshine dance. Well, it's basically kind of like, it's kind of like this. Sunshine, sunshine, ladybugs awake. Clap your hooves and do a little shake.
Life is pain and this existence is futile. What the heck am I watching here, guys? What are we doing? There's just something more and more sickening every time I see him do these little dances. Not only is he huge into Blues Clues, of course he's a brony on top of it. And you know what? I'm not even gonna say the whole politically correct, do your thing, brother. Nah, being a brony's weird. I don't care. Stuff's weird to me, man. This just in, Uncle Swampy D beefing with the damn bronies. 2025 taking turns none of us ever expected. Anyways, let's keep watching this. Dan Sobel is so weird. Like, I really wish we could get people like this away from children's shows and games, because everything you're about to see him do is 100% aimed toward children, and nobody can convince me otherwise.
Hello, it's me, Dan's Magic Club, and today we're going to be reviewing this PC game from Blue's Clues called Blue's Reading Time Activities. Steve wanted us to help us make up some newspapers for the Big News Gazette. So, first off, Mailbox wanted us to help the chicks and the pig at the farm. So for my rating of this PC game, I need to give this a 10 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.
So I find it weird that he's doing video game reviews of course, once again, children's games, but on top of that, he shows no gameplay footage because he probably doesn't own the game, and he just sits there on his phone showing a screenshot from Google Images. It's a very interesting and super lazy way of doing content, but I don't expect much more from Dan at this point. And I doubt that any of you expect much more than this either. For lolcows to put any sort of effort that isn't the bare freaking minimum is like asking for $1,000 to spawn in your hand right now. It's just not gonna happen.
Here's a story about a grumpy bug.
The Grumpy Bug by Robert Schull and narrated by me, Sandra Bernhardt. Once there was a really grumpy bug.
So, if 5 green bottles hanging on the wall, then one would accidentally fall, there will be 4 green bottles hanging on the wall.
It's time to get ready for bed.
Wow! Did you say it's time to get ready for bed?
That's exactly what I said. To get ready for bed. I just love to put on my bunny slipper. It's our sleepy time checklist.
Don't leave your nephews, your nieces, your sons, your daughters, any child for that matter, in any vicinity where this man can put his fingers on them, because you know what he's gonna do to them. Absolutely disgusting behavior you're seeing in these clips, man. You know, like I said, if this was just a mentally handicapped person living their life on the internet, I wouldn't be covering him, wouldn't be saying anything. But as we saw in episode 1, he's got this incredibly long, very spacey minded apology video saying he did PDF stuff, racist stuff, and all kinds of other deplorable activities online, and that's where I have to draw the line and say, hey, this isn't just bullying some sort of autistic kid online, this is holding people accountable and making sure they don't do it again. And the easiest way to do that is to cover them and document them, so not only people like Uncle Swampy D, but other YouTubers, other people in the community at large can make sure they're watching them as well. The more eyes on these people, the better, even though in turn it does give them a little infamy, and unfortunately gives them a little bit of an ego. But I mean, it's entertaining for us to watch.
Yes, I did do because I did tell Bella Harris to shove the middle finger up her private parts when she was young. Did show myself naked on a Google Meets, which is to 3 minors.
So the details Dan leaves out in his little apology there is that he was in a call, a Google meeting, something of the sort, with 3 people he knew were minors, and he was talking sexually, even undressing at one point as you see, and he did it more than once. He would get dressed in front of them multiple times, and this is why he would be labeled a weirdo. It gets deeper than that, and as I learn more, obviously I share more with you in these videos, but I honestly don't think it gets any worse than that already. You're telling me that you knowingly hang out with minors online, and then on top of that, you're literally getting naked and talking sexual with them? Bro, that's what a PDF is. Sorry to break it to you.
Hi, I'm Austin's father, and I have a message for Dan Sobel. First of all, I've been made to understand that you have been harassing and also bashing my son, Austin. I do not appreciate that. First of all, you are not in a position to be telling people who to like, what to do, or how to do things. Okay? Let's get one thing straight. You are not someone else's boss. And opinion bashing and threatening to call the police on other people, unless you have a real good legal ground to do that, you have nothing. Basically, I want you to knock that stuff off, okay? Because if I continue to hear about you harassing my son, or anyone else for that matter, I will be having the authorities contacting you for harassment. And I have the means to do that too.
So, the Austin that he's talking about in that clip there is the Austin Lee YouTube channel. From what I see, it's just a bunch of random stuff. A lot of random clips of like buses and planes and just public transport stuff. But it seems at one point or another, Austin would have some confrontations here with Dan, and Dan would send him some very not nice threats online, as he likes to do, and was trying to bully him and tell him what to do. So, what did Austin do? He got the best man he knew on the case, his dad, and goddamn, Pops really laid into him. There's actually a second one too, so let's jump into that.
This is a message for Dan Sobel. This is Austin's father. In my first video, I addressed you and your behavior and how you had harassed my son. End of that first video, I also gave you a warning. I said that if I needed to, I would contact the authorities and make a report about your online behavior where you're harassing people, doing all sorts of other inappropriate things. You were sent a notification about that video. So either you chose to completely ignore it, ignore the notification, or you watched that video and chose to ignore my message. I'll tell you right now that you ignore my message at your own peril. I have gone back and I've looked at some of the videos that you have produced over at least the past year prior to your taking this supposed hiatus. And quite frankly, I'm very disgusted by what I see, how you rant and rave against other people. You tell them to go do certain things like, taking their fingers and doing what with it, or telling them to buy things. Why you would tell anyone to do that is beyond me. You are making death threats. At least 2 people that I know of from your videos. That's what I wish to address in this video right now. I told you, you are nobody's boss. You do not have any authority or power whatsoever to tell anybody what to do or what to buy or who to like. That's not your purview. Okay.
Man, Pops really be spitting on that one. Can't even really argue with anything he's saying, and he says a lot more, but he kind of runs in circles, so we're gonna cut it off there. We all know Dan is definitely a troublemaker out here on these YouTube streets. And just to show you how deplorable Dan actually is, because I know he looks like an innocent, autistic weirdo, and that's about it, and you're just hearing all these allegations and self-admissions. Well, check this out.
Shut up, Michael. I don't care. I'm gonna put my middle finger on Eddie's. I don't care if he's a fucking minor or not. Oh, hell no! But I still have rights to hate Devin Osborne and Vinny the social media guy for 2 reasons. Because Devin Osborne is a son of a bitch. He deserves to die from seizures. And if you're still friends with Allie Wilson, you can tell your friend Allie Wilson, I am going to drink her piss.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
And since Charlie Janis is a minor, I'm gonna have to tell him to shove that middle finger up his privates.
Oh boy, it only gets worse from there too, and we're only scratching the surface, but we're gonna have to bring this episode to a close because I don't know how much more my psyche can handle of Dan Sobel today. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit that like button, throw me down some comments about Dan Sobel down below, and be sure to subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you all soon.
Get inside the van! Oh, wow.